we woke up in a cage in some kind of camp. Apparently, it was Quentin's camp,
Mm-hmm.
and then he asked us what if we would join him or we're gonna die. We also found Albrecht there. He was in a cage with us.
It's me if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Clovis decided that he will step on his nerves and ask him on a honorable battle for our lives.
For our freedom.
He
But, okay.
talked Quentin into it. Quentin, since he was an honorable man, decided to take the fight. The fight was in Quentin's favor up until he failed to defend.
With an unlucky
Clovis
number.
got lucky,
And Clovis got a lucky, yes.
Yeah.
and then
Amazing.
he hit him 2 times, once for max damage and once almost max damage, and he was just dead. He splattered his brain all over the camp in front of his, let's say, commanders in the camp, or
Seconds.
yeah, seconds in command. The second in command let us leave. Pancho, one of the others, decided that maybe we should die there, but guards, knowing Quentin and another guy, Bjorn, yeah,
Gyan,
It
yeah.
someone,
was Pancho. It was Pancho, Gar,
And
and
Gyan.
one more guy. Yeah.
um, yeah, Gyan, uh, talked with with Gar, and they let us leave with our equipment.
Pretty much. And
We went in a camp looking for Rashid, didn't find him. Uh, Clovis crafted armor for Alberic and a flail.
And the parrying dagger. I mean, didn't craft it. We bought the parrying dagger and flail. I think made armor for me. Oh yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
before that we went to the old mine to get the ore. Did a little quest there to craft the partial steel to one of the I guess seniors of the mine. Freddy. He paid us, and we managed to get some money. And then we found some miners outside. We tried to help them out, and stumbled upon this caravan that was going to the new camp. So we decided to join it for the safer route, to the new camp. We got ambushed by goblins. As you see here, we got surrounded, and fierce battle took place where I got unconscious, but it seems that my comrades managed to win the battle. And I think that's it. I'm not sure what they did after, the battle.
Oh yeah, and this is a very strong Sheromite from the new camp.
exactly. Wonderful explanation from Martin. Everyone regains a luck point. So you're sitting underneath a beautifully sunny day during a good spring travel time with what will be a couple of new companions you found on the road, more specifically a trader that traverses between the camps and that is right now heading towards the new camp. So you've met this trader and his new camp companion Gorn as well, who has offered an invitation to the new camp. And you've been ambushed by goblins that's not being so attentive. You've survived the gruesome ambush after a difficult fight in which Albrecht got knocked out, and I believe Clovis might have also been knocked out as well. Yes, he was, and then he was healed by Sayyad's potion. So, Rashid, you eventually made your way back to the old camp. You started looking for your companions, and you found word of the fact that they reached the settlement as well and that they were looking for you. So you posed the questions on where to go, and you've made your way over to a couple of kilometers away from the old camp, where you see your friends fighting on the dried side of a riverbed. You start rushing there with your halberd drawn, but by the time you get there, the combat is done, and you look around at your companions, who seem to be tired and weary.
You see Sajad stabilizing Clovis and Albrecht.
Ah,
And
there you are. I knew that you had tough roots. Ah, Where is Bascardo? I don't see him. Are you all well?
A,
Basqar is dead.
a big brawny Shedamite turns around to you and he says, another Shedamite. Wow, that's interesting to see. Late to join the fight, huh? I saw your fellows
our
here were
brother in
losing.
arms.
Damn, those goblins really got you good. I'd say we took the worst of it, though. And he points down the road. The peddler, the merchant, is just coming from under his cart with his shield up, breathing heavily, while to the other side of the wash there appear to be the bodies of two mercenaries. And Gorn says, I'll go take care of the wounded. Well, you take your pickings off the goblins, I guess. And then he leaves.
He's really strong. He managed to kill all those three alone. One shot at everyone.
I don't understand. What do you mean? Basqar is dead.
Oh, you know when you left away. Well, he died and you got captured. We managed to get away with this fellow on our hands too now.
I'm unconscious. by
Yeah,
the way.
here, and I point at him.
Yeah.
You see, I can only stabilize them. Maybe you can stop his wound.
He looks to be strong. Good pick. But I am still a bit shaken by the death of the old man. His bones were very old and brittle, but I expected him to learn and linger around for a bit longer. Ah. He has left the Empire of the Dark God then. We will pray for him once we get safe.
This person here is
So-
bleeding quite profusely.
Can you
What
treat his
is this
wound?
man's
Drink.
wound? Let me see it. Yeah, and Rashid is going to try and treat it with the healer's kit.
As far as I recall, he had, I think 7 hit point wound.
So I'll rip some clothes off me and I say, no, here.
Ah. I can see how wrong I was. The wound clearly goes towards the lower side. Very well.
I'll
It
just
should be stopped now.
real tight.
Perfect. You,
What-
you stop the bleeding. You patch it up very well. You think Albrecht will be fine if he just heals.
Can you
Very well.
Can you treat his wound? With your...
I will try. If you can treat Clovis's bleedings as well, I will go have a look at those a bit later. Yeah, Rashid takes a pick through the new healer's kit that he hasn't used before, and he just starts mashing random stuff together because he has no experience with them, and this is the result. And he still has to get a bit used to the new tools. So he, sorry, what's the wound? What caused the wound?
I
Like,
think
do you
I
have,
got
like-
slashed with a blade on my.
You were
body.
hit with an axe.
Oh, it was an axe, my bad. It was hit by axe on a body or something. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rashid probably just stitches the wrong end of the wound and lets it open, while he makes some stitches around where they don't need to be.
We are here to accompany this carriage, so let's go. We should continue.
Ah, yes.
Wait,
What was this man's name again?
Albrecht.
Alberich. I will take a look at your wounds. Don't worry. Rest be.
Since I stabilized him, I think he has to roll 1d something hours until he wakes up.
Oh yeah. You're
Same
very
with
much
me.
right about that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Same with me? Or.
Oh, you wake up in
Sajad.
1 hour.
Help me. We will lift him up on the wagon.
Albert, you can slightly open your eyes and you can croak a couple of sounds, but you're not in the most conscious of moods.
What? I'll loot the goblins.
The merchant comes over and says, really bad fight. I'm glad we had you with us. Otherwise it would have gone very differently. You're all skilled in the fight. Maybe you can help me with being my guards in the future. Would be very useful, especially when I travel down into the swamp.
Yeah, we're pretty competent with some. But you see, we are tired now. Where are we gonna rest?
He says, "We'll find camp soon. Shouldn't be much longer now."
A promising offer. You may count on us. It would benefit both the parties if we helped you in the future. Let me introduce myself. I am Rashid Al Raid. And what is your name, merchant? For future reference.
I frankly forgot, so we'll generate his name again. He says his name is Boar. A peddler with a big peddler. He has some armor on him, and he has a wooden shield, which seemed to have absorbed a bunch of arrows by now. So he steps here and says, "My name's Boar. I do some peddling in between the camps. Didn't
I can
see you
see you
around
are
there. You showed up out of
doing
nowhere
very
and
well.
just thought of helping us? How nice. Thank the Fire
For
Lord."
yourself. I tried to rush in there, but these men are more competent than they seem. They got rid of the threat, didn't they?
He nods and he says, "They sure are. I'll see how I can take care of the dead now. We'll be leaving in about 15 minutes, so get yourselves ready."
Alright, Sajad. What did you find?
I'll take these two, you take the other two. Ooh. Goblin toes. Bruh.
A monkey level 1 potion of heal.
Yes, you identify this to be a potion of healing. It smells like things you've smelled before, like poultices and concoctions, which usually make you well, but it's very murky. It has a watery look to it, but it's very, very dirty, you would say? With what, you're not sure.
What swords did they had?
They have some goblin weapons that are not best fit for your hands. You could use them, but they would not really be as good as human quality weapons.
What material is iron? Just raw.
Probably just rusty iron.
They're combinations of iron and steel and wood and whatever they can make. Or
Bones.
stolen weapon or old weapons or bones and stuff like that, yeah. They're goblin weapons of various types. Humans don't usually pay attention to these. Wink. Anyways.
Winks at camera.
Let's say you also find something more. You also find a potion, a big green potion in the pocket of the red cap here that you've killed. You'd have to roll alchemy to identify it, though.
We found 35 ore in total, so you want to split it on 4, I guess, of us. 80.75 each.
On 3, because we're 3 now.
Oh, I mean, I guess. Sure, 35 split on 3. 11.66 each.
So one gets 11, the others get 12.
Alright, get 11 is fine. My first money.
Goblin toes.
I will have completely broke before this.
Mucky.
Level 1.
Yeah, we
skill.
can continue. So we'll gather these and
Right, Rashid. Come, let me help bring those two and load them up
And
on
what
the wagon.
about-
You find a book as well on
And a
the
skill
red cap.
book.
It's called Hunt and Prey.
Ooh.
Survival 1.
So I go to Red Cap and just undress him of the chest plate and put it in the backpack.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
partial iron body.
We should go.
As Rashid approaches me, I'll use my the rest of my strength to point over here at my parrying dagger that I lost during the combat, and do some noise like, and then my hand will fall and I will sort of not do any movements.
A beautiful weapon.
It has damage to
Master crafted.
condition.
But I can see it has some scratches on it. Is this yours? I'll let it serve you well. And Rashid just puts it back onto your belt. No, if you have somewhere we can put it, or he just sticks it behind.
Good.
Alright.
Some minutes
Probably
pass, and you're approached by the merchant who says, "Good, we should be good to go. Let's make haste now." And
let's
it's the
go.
last part of traveling, which you complete in the next 2 hours.
Does it mean I'm properly conscious now? I can actually
Yes,
speak?
you wake up on the way there on the back of a cart as you're being dragged over rocky terrain and up a hill.
Oh, looks like I survived, huh?
Good. There's a lot of
Are you
green
alive?
plant life around here, waving grass several feet high, spread out throughout the hill. There's a well-used animal trail around with a lot of tracks in the area, signifying the fact that creatures and animals and beasts live here. Perhaps this would be a ripe area to hunt. Indeed, down the hill, much down the hill, you see two people dressed in blue hunting for deer with a bow and arrow, quite skillfully. There's a rushing stream somewhere nearby, a small stream, but that nonetheless falls downwind of the hill and pools into the bigger river down the road. You hear Gorn grunting very heavily as he drags the cart. As the area around here is difficult terrain, and I need Sayad and Albrecht and Rashid. Oh wait, no, Albrecht, you're on the back of a cart. Sayad and Rashid, please do give me an endurance test or lose a stamina point. And then eventually you come across what appears to be the base of the mountains, of the western mountains of the colony. Very, very, very big mountains, tall peaks, so high they go way above the clouds. You look at the base of this mountain, and a large palisade has been set up with wooden watchtowers as well, and at the entrance there's a lot of people dressed in blue standing around, smoking hogweed, talking between themselves. There's a couple of thugs brawling, and Albrecht, as you peek over the cart, you notice an enforcer of the new camp with a big old axe on his back staring down at you. Gorn nods at him as he passes, and then he turns around and he says, "This is it, the new camp. I'll go back to my hut. If you need to look for me, then I'll be around there." And then he makes his way off after being paid by the merchant. The merchant turns around and he says, "This is the new camp then. A lot of things for you to do here if, well, you want to do something here. I would suggest just taking care and not making much noise. If you don't have much to do, then perhaps it would be wise to just leave." And then he paranoidly looks around left and right as a couple of thugs are already greedily looking at his merchandise. He's already approached by people asking him what he has to buy and sell.